Retro anime. How did we find it? How does it hold up? Unpacking the ins and outs of being an old school nerd and proving that 80s kids can't remember a damn thing right. These are the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd.
Welcome to Mindless Midlife Musings of the Anime Nerd. I'm Rick, and I'm joined by the rest of our panel, Vic, Lynette, and Brian. Hello, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
We've missed y'all.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Today, I think I can officially call this, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, listeners, I think I can officially call it, we have found the most 80s anime ever made. I feel like this is the most 80s anime. So today we rev up our engines and join the chase to help exonerate Bean Bandit from a kidnapping frame job in Riding Bean. Riding Bean is a 1989 anime OVA directed by Yasuo Hasegawa and written by Kenichi Sonoda. Animego originally released it on VHS in 1990 in Japanese with English subtitles. They later produced an English dub in 93. They issued a DVD release in 2002 and a high octane edition Blu-ray release that was kickstarted in 2017. Riding Bean follows the exploits of courier for hire Bean Bandit and his partner Raleigh Vincent. After an exciting robbery car chase gone awry, Bean and Raleigh find that they have been framed for the kidnapping of an 11-year-old Chelsea Grimwood. However, it is criminal mastermind named Semmerling, which is the funniest name, who is to blame, and Chelsea's father, who is the actual target. While the police are in hot pursuit of Bean and Raleigh along with Chelsea in tow, Semmerling and her teenage helper Carrie plan to make a secret getaway with Mr. Grimwood as their hostage. And if it sounds like I just described the whole anime, it's because I basically did, and it's not a long anime.
Not a long anime. Seriously, you could have rolled credits. Do we have credits?
We have a closing, but we don't have like a credits roll. It would be a very short credits roll. There's only 5 of us, really.
Right. But maybe that's something maybe we can get John Williams.
I'm sure he's available. He's retired from all the Star Wars stuff, so.
Right. So
Yeah, then we only need like 3 seconds of audio.
Well, he's always calling us in. He's a long-time listener. Johnny, you feel like you can whip him?
Because that's what we call him. We call him Johnny.
His friends call him Johnny. So
Johnny Will.
That's right.
Yeah. Boy, he is who in a strip club.
He is something else. All right, so this anime has it all. It's got 80s pop aesthetic. It's got 80s peak car illustration. It's got 80s peak watch design. It's got 80s violence. It's got 80s gratuitous nudity. It's got 80s car chases.
No.
It has all of the shit.
Is it time for us to actually put in gratuitous nudity, as in nudity that serves no purpose whatsoever?
I do believe that is what we had in this.
But is that our definition for it?
I believe so. Yes, it's gratuitous. It serves no narrative point. It's just there for titillation and enjoyment.
I actually would like to disagree with that point.
All right, let's go.
Look, this thing is all about order of operation, right? For me. And I didn't realize that it's actually an order of operation for when it comes to like women's clothing and lingerie. You're supposed to put the garters on first and then the panties. Did I know that?
Oh.
Well,
How they go to the
Brian.
bathroom if they can't take their underwear?
Well, after I saw that, I was like, that makes perfect sense.
After you take a minute and you think about it logistically, you go, well, no, I guess, yeah, it kind of makes sense.
I've done something.
Oh, shit.
It's just proof that every day you learn something new.
Yes.
Every
Oh,
day.
man.
And
Brian was just
it was
late
the
to
first
the game.
time. Something else that I found about this whole gratuitous nudity. They actually did a good job of putting the bra back on.
It does happen.
That's nice shading and artwork there. I learned about tanning. Tanning in an anime can
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
Mhm.
However, I will argue that none of these things served the overall plot. You did learn
Not a
something.
damn thing.
You
Not a
did
damn
learn
thing.
something, but it didn't serve the plot.
I think I learned the
Therefore,
wrong thing. I
it
learned the
is
wrong
good.
thing.
So the whole thing opens with an over-the-top, just action car chase, shoot 'em up sequence in a mall because there was nothing more 80s than a shopping mall, and that's
Oh, here we go.
the whole sequence is. I can't even like really describe it to you guys. It's as a listen if you've never seen it. It's just you can go watch this whole anime on your lunch break, and it would be absolutely worth it. This opening
Time out.
sequence is
We're
insane.
all right. We're talking about lunch breaks where you don't have to worry about taking PTO for extra time. We're talking about like lunch breaks in the '90s, like maybe a 9 to 5 type lunch breaks.
Right? Yeah.
Not these 30-minute shits to try to give you.
Oh no!
You-
What is that nonsense? No, I'm
Yeah,
talking about
30-minute with one of your 15-minute breaks tacked on.
like this
Yep.
is like I'm talking like a clerk's level lunch break where
Yeah.
you're technically working, but you're just in the back stocking the shelves. I air quote.
Yeah,
That,
all the
you know.
people who work in doctors' offices when they close for the day for lunch. Yeah,
That's
we're
what
talking to you.
this is for you.
Ye-
This anime is for you.
Fast food service, maybe not for you. Definitely call centers. It's not for you either.
Definitely not. So this action sequence, it's great. It's just so very 80s. I'm not going to get too much into it, but it does give us our first look at the real star of this anime, not Bean Bandit, but the fucking car, the Roadbuster, as it is called. Is a custom Porsche chassis with a 730 horsepower Chevrolet Corvette Stingray engine block. Yes, I looked it up. And
Flag on the play. We're just gonna skip over the sniper shotgun shot demanded.
go ahead, lay into it.
Look, we're back to that open sequence.
Yes.
And two things. The detail on this is annoyingly good.
Annoyingly good is a great way to describe it.
Right, because the things they care about, they care about.
Oh yeah.
Right? The things they don't care about is apparent. There's actually a place in there called Junk Food Store.
Yes, there is.
I looked at that, I was like, man, they're not even trying. But then you get this wonderful breakdown of all the cars, the tractor trailer, the type of tractor trailer. Bitch couldn't have said red tractor trailer with a dent in the side. That's
no.
what we're looking for. No. Skamsia.
So it is
No.
it is known that Sanada-san is a huge fan of automobiles and guns, and he translates that into all his anime, really. And his passion for it shows because boy, do they put the work in when it comes to that stuff.
So what other things have we seen Sinestro from?
Well, Sinestro is known for several things, such as Bubblegum Crisis, and he has also done things like, not that we were huge fans of it, but Golf Force. He did a lot of he did character designs for that. He also did Gunsmith Cats, which we'll be covering at some point.
Oriyamis.
I can see it now. I can see it.
Like Bubblegum Crisis is all you really needed. I mean, you just
but it's actually more Golf Force the one that stands out to me.
Okay.
Because both Carrie and Claire.
Claire and well, Claire and she called her Claire, but it was a Semmerling. Anyway, yeah.
Not Semmerling.
Oh, the kid.
But the pink haired one.
Copy that. Yeah.
She looks straight like she's just part of Golf Force.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I see it now. All right.
So yeah, they have this. They introduce us to the Roadbuster, who has one of the coolest features: 90-degree right angle wheel turn radius.
And Diesel is jealous.
And
I
it's
see that.
bulletproof.
Oh yeah, and it's bulletproof, and it's like one Gatling gun away from being a Bond car. Like
Right.
It's got like wheel spikes so it doesn't go over.
Yeah.
I was like,
Which yeah,
it's like
this
how does this
It's
car
got
not
freaking
weigh?
crab mode to go sideways.
this car is insane. It's
How does it
insane.
not weigh like 5 million bajillion pounds?
Well, that's why it needs a
and move so
730
fast?
horsepower engine.
Sitting there going, I'm like, what? And then it can go on 2 wheels, so it can 2-wheel
Yeah.
itself. Go
Oh,
all
it's
and it's bulletproof.
that's it.
And it has a phone inside of it.
I added it to
Yeah,
my
and it
Amazon
has a
wish
phone.
list.
It has a car phone.
Yeah,
Among
and
everything
which
else we've talked about, it has its own car phone.
for the 80s,
It's
that
ridiculous.
is a huge deal. So yeah, this we're introduced to Raleigh, or not so much Raleigh, but Bean. We're introduced to Bean during this car chase sequence, where he does some incredibly inventive getaway tactics, stuff that make Baby Driver drool, and we cut to the next morning. I think it's the next morning where Bean has to be awakened, and I wrote it down because I was like,
I wrote it down too.
bro got tased away.
Dude, I
Yes,
said,
he did.
don't ever let me get in a relationship where the first option in waking me up and tasing me, I don't need to be in that type of relationship.
Seriously.
But I think she actually put the skillet on his face first.
No, was it the skillet? I thought the skillet was second because the tase didn't do shit. And then the skillet to
Yes.
the face woke him up, and then he bitched at her for using the skillet on him.
Yeah, I think that's how it went because he got
Yeah.
shocked and he went, oh.
Yeah, and then just like right back out. So yeah, she burned him awake with a hot skillet with eggs and bacon on it right to his cranium. And you're just like, what the fuck? So
And his response to that after he got breakfast was, at least you're putting it to better use than my face.
right.
Or something like that. It's like,
So the girl in question waking him up is Raleigh Vincent, and Raleigh is great because she's actually the lead character of the Gunsmith Cats series. In here, she's sporting a blonde haircut and no tan, but it's the same character. So apparently, character design changes are made by the time Gunsmith Cats came around. I like that the delivery was for the Roadbuster, which I thought was a very funny little thing that I noted. So we're immediately shown the police force, and we're shown the cop who's been trying to catch Bean for, I'm assuming, the better part of his career. And he's thrilled because he got himself a Shelby GT Cobra. I got Cartwood because that car is a dream. It's a beauty. I guess he got it at an impound.
Right, but he's been getting his ass whooped by Bean this entire
Like you could
since
tell.
before.
Yeah, you can tell he's sick and tired of getting his ass handed to him.
And look, we can't get you nothing else greater than this Shelby right here. And on first looks, you could tell that the Shelby and the Roadbuster are two completely different leagues.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is just like it's a Shelby versus fucking Knight Rider. Like it is really not.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I was gonna say Mario Kart versus the Knight Rider without the cones.
That's it. We get introduced to the cop. He's very happy about his car, and then we get
Percy.
We get classic 80s police chief detective yelling banter because this anime is, again, the most 80s anime ever made.
Even the music is 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we find out that the girl from the heist is in an Amber Alert, that before Amber Alerts were a thing. They're looking for her. Just the 80s aesthetic is everywhere in this. There's 80s tech everywhere. Like I said, they showed the watch in like extreme detail, and they show like they have like the tape deck. Those younger listeners, tapes were reels of film that were used to record music and play back.
And we even get to hit them with a video cassette recorder.
That's right, and a video cassette recorders. So somebody shows up to Bean, and they want to hire Bean to deliver an 11-year-old girl. And for his services, he'll be offered $50,000. Sounds great. What could possibly go wrong? At this point, Raleigh apparently has super hearing, and they are assaulted with just an incredible rain of gunfire from the neighboring building. It's kind of crazy because like the guy that's hiring them gets shredded, so we think. And you get your first inkling that there's something different about Bean.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Bean takes a fuck ton of bullets, and he doesn't even stagger. And you're just like,
while sitting.
Right. And you're just like, okay, so the jacket's got to be like bulletproof, right? And yes, this is true. But also there's more. So you don't know that at the time, so you just have to use your anime logic and be like, oh, he's got like Kevlar laced. I saw John Wick. He's got a Kevlar laced like jacket, and he's all right. And the gunfire's coming from the other building, so it's anyway. You do a lot of self-explaining and dismissing at this point.
Yeah, you do it to yourself. You're like, well, you just fucked it off.
Yeah, yeah. He literally ducks into the jacket, like ducks into the. It's totally a John Wick moment. You find out at this point that the guy that was hiring them, he was using squibs, and while they were using live rounds on Bean, they were using blanks on the person hiring them. They're using a mask and a fucking voice changer. It's seriously some Mission Impossible shit, and you're like, okay, this is what we're doing. Percy is obsessed with Bean, and he's going to use photos to lie about, or to get more clearance to use an elevated layer of force to capture Bean. Like, it's just so. In the other episode for Pat Labor, I talked about police overstepping. Percy's about to overstep. He's going to falsify evidence to try and get a task force put together so he can go get Bean. Nevertheless, at this point, you're introduced to Mr. Grimwood, who is the father of the little girl that Bean has been hired to transmit. And he's being held hostage.
Can we just talk about Grimwood for a second?
We can.
He is a shining beacon of, like, he's fucking great.
Yeah, he is. He's a real. He's got CEO written all over him.
But everything you think he's an evil guy, like, he's supposed to be a bad guy, according to Carrie.
Right.
But Carrie's taking this information from Simmerling.
Right.
And apparently Carrie, who was maybe 14.
Carrie's something else.
And Simmerling are lovers.
Yes. According to Carrie.
According to Carrie. Oh my God.
Right. Yeah, again, there's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff pays off later. But at this
Simmerling
point,
is the worst.
She is. Yeah. So pink-haired Carrie is being absurdly flirtatious and very weird with Grimwood, and a little psycho, because she's a little psycho.
I was looking for it. There's a word that people that they're using. It's not sus, but there's a word that
is Ohio. is she Skibbity Ohio? Is that what that is now?
No, like there's a word
my 11-year-old eyeballs
that people are using when they don't like their way this person is.
Sus is the last thing I remember. So
I don't like sus because I like playing Among Us.
This is midlife musings. So yes, I'm going with it. So,
ladies and gentlemen, you get to watch as us in midlife musings try to decipher new term and
there you go. That is not
we're doing great. We are.
This is not that episode.
Look, we are on par. This is
the
really
term you're looking for is maybe gnarly. No, not gnarly.
No, that can't be it. Heinous, most heinous dude.
Heinous,
that's the one. So
wow. We are really on brand here. Probably for the first time in a long time.
That's right. So Semmerling shows up and beats the living shit out of Carrie, and apparently Carrie's really into it. It's just not. I didn't have on my bingo card for this anime, but there it was. Yeah, so it's fun. Bean shows up with the girl in hand. And
to the Grimwood estate.
To the Grimwood estate, where he has been instructed to deliver her. And this place has some great, just famously interesting security. And and any other car would have been caught in this 80s firepower trap that was the security system at the Grimwood estate.
A Knight Rider, though.
But not the Roadbuster. No, the Roadbuster did not. So Bean's been set up. As he finds out, there was nobody on staff that knew anything about what the fuck Bean just got hired for. And he has a hostage in the backseat of the car. So he is immediately implicated as the person doing the bad. And
But even with all that information, if the first thing, one, he plays the tape of the person
right,
saying
he has
he plays
audio.
that.
Yeah, he's got
Two,
audio.
he's bringing the girl back.
Yeah, he's there with the girl. It's like,
the girl.
I got this. We're good.
So y'all should have been like, oh my gosh, we're so thankful for you. Thank you
Right.
so
Right,
much.
it's like, thank you so much, but no.
And he's like, solid, I'll take my $50K. And they'd be like, I'm sorry, what?
Yep.
So
Dude, yeah.
anyway, yeah.
By 50K, I think they understood 50,000 bullets.
That's about
Yep.
what they get. So
And they were
Mr.
short.
Grimwood took a $2 million ransom with him to go collect his daughter, Chelsea. And they took him.
Chelsea's her name.
Yeah, they took him and his $2 million, and they kept him. They didn't need the girl. They just needed her to get him. And that was the whole setup. At this point, Grimwood's entire security team has unleashed a fiery hell from which only John McClane would survive.
Yep.
And
The girl's still in the car.
with the girl in the car, which just goes to tell you about the security team. And then comes the moment that it's never explained in any capacity. The man takes a handful of fully shelled walnuts, stuffs them into his mouth, just crunches them like he's chewing on Captain Crunch, and then proceeds to take the Roadbuster and go apeshit. And when I say go apeshit with the Roadbuster, I mean he literally uses the car as a weapon. Like, it's not like he has weapons on the car. He uses the car
The car
to
is
knock-
open.
to knock people out, pin them against trees. Like, it's insane in the way only
Shit kill you.
shit that
Yeah.
should kill
Obviously.
you.
The only thing it didn't do is like literally just fly off the ground. Straight
Oh, man.
2 wheels, 1 wheel.
Absolute 80s anime
It
escapism
was
stuff.
crazy.
And then then they got freaking anti-tank rifles, and just damn
with the girl in the car.
in the car. So Bean does manage to get away from the trap that he had found himself in, only to be met outside by Percy. And if there could be, the thing I wrote down for it was, this is a Smokey and the Bandit vibe. That's what I was getting from this Percy Bean interaction.
So I just have a question about Percy though.
You go ahead.
Why did he try to murder the hamburger that he was eating? That was like, he had like I'm going to gouge out. I'm gonna squeeze this burger so hard that the cow's daughter or son will feel it as I'm doing this.
So much. He is
So much
He is
rage in that.
a caricature of rage. He is absolutely that. He is a caricature
And
of
he
rage.
drank a 2-liter of Coke. I was like, this guy.
Yo, I saw those two things. I was like, whoa, buddy.
That's his issue. Is he's on a sugar high.
Oh.
Hey, strong.
He's murdering an already dead piece of beef
Man.
and
Yeah.
downing a 2-liter of Coke. I was like, oh my God.
We find
Chill,
out
buddy.
that the semi truck that Bean almost crashed into in the opening car chase was a setup.
Hmm.
Figures. But like Brian called, Bean doesn't just remember that a semi truck got in his way. Bean remembers the fucking make, model, year, and license plate on the fucking
And
semi
VIN
truck
number.
and VIN number. He knows who worked the line manufacturing the truck. Like, he just-
Right.
He's got.
I'm pretty sure
everything.
those seat belts, they're not nylon. Those are made for some type of carbon filament.
Oh, fucking hell. So he figures this out as the semi truck passes by, which is really kind of funny. And Summerling is with her driver, who coincidentally is named Rick. And I was not
I had a note for that.
I was not thrilled about that fact.
You did it to yourself on this one.
I
I
did.
was going to do it, but
It's all right.
you knew I was going to point that out.
Oh yeah. So
Or
Rick
maybe
is her,
you knew Nick was going to point it out.
I
Nick,
just
were you
knew there
gonna
was
point
no
that
way we were gonna get past it. That's what I knew. We finally get a Rick in an anime, and he gets fucking killed.
out? No, we get a Rick in an anime that we love and watch.
And
because we have Rick Hunter, but we don't
we don't talk about Rick Hunter.
talk about Rick Hunter.
Anyway, Rick gets surreptitiously killed by Semmerling, who is filth.
I have to admit that was by far one of the coolest deaths I've ever seen in anime.
It was very clever. I'm not gonna fault it as far as like
Get in there, get my back. Top hat.
just like plant his head down. There's like we're gonna get this car to go. Yeah, it's a hot mess. So there's this chase, and I don't know. Obviously, Speed must have copied it, but they're going towards like this like bridge that's not finished. Should just collapsed. I don't know. And the Roadbuster suddenly sprouts spikes from his wheels. And
To
it is
slow him
like
down.
it to help slow him down. It was amazing. It was cartoonish, but it was amazing.
Very Knight Rider.
Very Knight Rider.
I
Very
will
Speed
say,
Racer.
like, we are living in a world where science fiction has pretty much affected us in the real world. Like,
Indeed.
the whole start talking into your watch and it being a communicator.
Sure.
Right? We have that shit now.
We sure do.
Why don't we have 90-degree wheel axles? I don't know.
I don't know. I can only assume.
We actually do now.
do we?
The EV has it.
The Hummer EV has it. The GMC Sierra Denali EV
There you go,
now
Brian.
has it too.
$100,000 plus vehicles.
The answer is it exists. It just hasn't been priced into affordability yet. So a few more years.
You can watch the commercial. They have that one now where they're doing that.
That's
They're
impressive.
strutting the
Yes.
cars.
That's just cool.
The crab walk.
It's amazing. But can it do it at 180 miles an hour on a highway?
Of course not.
God damn it. Now I got to get me a new car.
Stunt drivers, please test that out for us and let us
There
know.
you go. So Bean wants blood. He's really pissed. He still thinks Mr. Morris is the culprit. He hasn't put together that Semmerling is even like he doesn't even know who the fuck Semmerling is really at this point. He's just so they pass Percy, and Percy just
He's
joins
fucking
the
up the
chase.
food.
Yeah, fucking up some food, and then joins in on the chase because of course.
Not for long though.
That poor Mustang.
Seriously.
Mhm.
Oh man. Anyway, another car chase because that's what this is really about. And Michael Bay would be proud. There's all kinds of good car chases in this. We get to this parking garage situation, and this is where shit gets a little crazy. Like if it wasn't crazy enough already, 80s car chases, 80s gun traps, 80s all this stuff. It's at this point that you find out Bean Bandit isn't just an average driver with a high tolerance for skillet heat. Bean Bandit's a fucking super. Like, that's the only way I can really describe this. Bean loses his shit. And
Part Wolverine. Part Luke Cage.
I was gonna Luke Cage for sure. Motherfucker punches a hole in a car door. Like,
Flips it
no
off.
big deal. And tears the car door off.
No.
Because
We gotta
he's-
talk about the knife that he uses. He brings the
That
knife to a
knocked the
gunfight.
door against the wall.
Yeah.
He threw
Throw
that
the
knife
knife
through the
and takes it
window.
off the hinges.
Right?
And he
That's
he
right.
knocks
No,
the
no,
door
he-
on the other
we gotta-
side off.
On the other side. Yeah. He takes the
Yeah.
knife, throws it through the window,
That's
and
right.
takes the door off on the other hinge.
On
What
the other
the
side.
fuck?
It's so we weren't watching just an 80s anime. We were watching an 80s apparently superhero anime, and we didn't know we were watching an 80s superhero anime until the last 5 minutes of this anime.
But the signs were there. The signs were there.
It absolutely was. Like, yeah.
Everything started to make more sense.
He ate a mouthful of walnuts.
And then we
He-
get to
We get the
the
chomping
first-
walnuts thing.
chomping the walnuts,
Yeah.
and
And
nothing was
the
in the
bullets and-
teeth, the
Yeah.
shell, the bullet.
Yeah,
All
like
the signs were there.
everything was there, and then it all comes into. At first, you think you're just watching a cartoonish representation of 80s action movies, which this very much starts out as. This is very much in that vein. Like, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando. This is Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know, like this is
Sylvester Stallone in Cobra.
Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. That's what this is.
He's a boomer.
Beans a boomer. There you go. So we're very much watching this 80s action film play out, and Bean the boomer, he goes
It's the
ape
same
shit.
guy,
He
right?
goes
Same guy,
he-
right?
Absolutely, it's the same guy. Yes, it's
He's a
Sonata. It's
boomer.
absolutely, and Bean is apparently not nigh invulnerable, but extremely fucking durable and incredibly overpowered in strength. He's got super strength. He's got high durability. So yeah, he punches a hole in a car door. He tears the car door off its hinges. He takes bullets point blank. He took a bullet point blank to the fucking forehead, and
That's
like
the
Because in
forehead.
the end, he still had it sitting in his forehead the
Right,
whole time.
still
I'm
had
He
it,
doesn't
like,
take
like,
it to the
he's-
forehead. He takes it the headband.
to the headband. Yes, that's right.
And the headband is made of the same Kevlar material as the jacket.
The
That was
same
the only way
shit
I
as
could
the
get.
jacket.
Right.
Yes.
That was the only way I could get through it.
I'm gonna give you that. The headband was the same kind of John Wick Kevlar shit. It took the brunt of the hit, but we've established the dude can punch through a car door, so he's durable. Semmerling is not quitting for the life of her. She's a heartless psychopath, and she holds Carrie hostage to try and get Bean to stop his raging assault.
Apparently, Bean has a
A
soft
soft
spot for kids.
spot for kids. That's right. And Semmerling knew this, so she instinctively seduced and wooed this child to be her ward so that she could use them later. It's all manipulation. Semmerling is
Batman
the
would
worst.
never. Bruce Wayne would be appalled. He
It's
would
at
be
this-
appalled.
It's at this point that Bean takes the point blank shot in the head and lives. He's dazed, but dazed is a word I would use, I guess, to describe it. He's loony. He gets a bullet, and
He just
positively
left the dentist office.
He's positively Looney Tunes. She tries to run him the fuck over because, of course, she does.
Because he's on the ground.
Motherfucker holds the car up, hoists.
No,
He does. He fucking.
he gets hit
He
first.
does get hit.
No, but he gets hit.
He does. He gets hit.
Twice.
But then he hoists it with one arm.
and he smiles like a madman. Oh my God.
Do we see what we're doing here? We are just glossing over the fact that even for an 80s
That's what I said.
anime,
We left action movie and we went to superhero origin story. That's what this
so
movie
we-
ends up being.
okay, all right.
Do you disagree?
No?
No,
I
no,
think-
we left it. Matter of fact, we left it parking garage.
That's when we left it. Yeah.
That's when we left it.
That's when we left it and we entered MCU.
With no with no fucking explanation.
Absolutely none. This is never explained. I looked it up. I went to the internet. I Googled, I binged, I did all the things. I DuckDuckGo'd. I could not find.
Did you ask Jeeve though?
I did ask that son of a bitch. So I could not find. By the way, young listeners, Ask Jeeves was a search engine that predated Google. It was what we used to search the internet when Netscape failed us. And Netscape was a browser from the. No, anyway, the point
No,
is.
keep going. Let them know how easy they got it now. You let these motherfuckers know.
Dude,
Yeah, the early search engine wars.
Alta Vista for the win. All right, so
Exactly.
And we were searching it on computers with Microsoft Millennium Edition.
I could not find any explanation for Bean's abilities. None. I couldn't find anything. There's nothing that explains his power set. There's nothing about his abilities are ever explained, commented on, ever. He just is.
He just exists.
This is it. Just exists. They're not brought up in Gunsmith Cats. They're not brought up in the Gunsmith Cats manga. I can't find an explanation. He's just a fucking super. This is his one shot. This was his
Is
starring
Bean
role.
in Gunsmith Cats or just Valley?
He's
I mean, Raleigh.
Bean is in the manga for Gunsmith Cats. He's a recurring character. Raleigh takes the driver's seat for the Gunsmith Cats series, and Bean
Oh,
is
you're good
relegated
with
to
that.
supporting character.
I see what you did on that one.
Thank you. Anyhow, he's a super. He hoists this car up single-handedly. It's pretty crazy. Raleigh gets her guy. It's a great moment. She like trying to do the right thing, and she like
Xavier Copperfield is what you're looking for.
there you go. It's great. All I wrote was one in the chamber. Like as soon as she it's like I knew there was one in the chamber. That's like as soon as she started handing it over, I'm like, she's got one in the chamber. And sure as shit, one in the chamber. She gets her guy. Badass good girl. Badass good girl moment for Raleigh. She earned it. She takes the guy down with a single bullet. Excellent marksman shot. Good stuff.
He does not get up.
He does not get up because there's only one super in this movie, and it's Bean. So Carrie has got some PTSD or some shit because she just can't let it go, and she's kind of grief stricken and
still
trying to defend Semmerling. Yeah, despite the fact that she was literally a human shield not 2 minutes earlier, but she knows that she's licked. She gave Bean the goods, told him what was up, took care of him. She's grief-stricken and angry, but Bean takes her anyway because he's, as we established, and in character, he's got a soft spot for the kids. So he's, he brings her with.
But we're talking about are we addressing the fate of Semmerling?
Let's address the fate of Semmerling.
No, she dies. Whatever.
She dies. Whatever. She does.
But it doesn't. Ken, there's an explosion.
There is, yes.
But they don't really show what causes it to. Like, there's some times where they would hit, oh my God, there's gas.
Right.
Is leaking. And because the gas is leaking, you don't want to do a spark from the gun to go. You know what I'm saying? You could easily do
click,
that.
boom. Yeah, sure.
Right. 5 frames. Animated. No. It's just pull trigger after she shoots her and she dies.
Right. Just the boom. And look, man, I would fault it, but everything in that car garage was beat to shit. So something was gonna blow up at some point. It is an
80s action movie.
It's an 80s action superhero movie, so something had to blow up. It's kind of an inevitability.
I mean, it's law.
It's right. It's law. So basically, this anime closes out with Raleigh and Bean in their car with the kid in the back and
knocked out,
deciding whether or not they should leave or stay in Chicago. Which, by the way, this is set in an American city, Chicago, and Bean's like having too much fun kind of thing, and they decide to stay in Chicago, where he is undoubtedly an extremely wanted man, but it's an 80s action superhero anime thing, so he stays.
Felt like they could catch him anyways, so
facts. This is just.
Yeah, I don't think they know that he's a super.
I don't think anybody knows that he's Summerling sure knows.
I don't think Bean knew.
I don't know. It's not like he leans into it, right? He obviously saved that for the third act. So after writing Bean, Sonata went on to create the Gunsmith Cats manga, where he decided to rework Raleigh's character design and put her as the main character. We'll cover Gunsmith Cats at some point, but this was the one and only outing for Bean Bandit and his story. He's relegated to a side character in the subsequent manga. Apparently, rumors are that this didn't do great, so they didn't pursue more of it, kind of thing.
Why? But it also goes to show you these motherfuckers don't know what is good and what's bad, because writing Bean doesn't get it, but Burn Up does.
There's like 18 burn ups. But yeah, there's only one writing Bean. What can I tell you? So Raleigh's signature car in the Gunsmith Cat show is the same 1967 Shelby Mustang that Percy uses in this anime. So obviously Sonata has a soft spot for the Shelby.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't tell because he fucked this one up.
Right, no doubt. Parts of the car chase scenes were rotoscoped in from the Blues Brothers. I thought that was a fun factoid.
I knew it. Look, you were saying
it's done for people. It's not often used for other things.
For the car chase, yeah.
Look, when you were saying that this was like more like Knight Rider and stuff like that. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
One is set in Chicago.
Yep.
This is Blues Brothers, which Blues Brothers is infamously set in Chicago.
Right. Well, you'll be happy to know, Brian, that the license plate on the car Summerlin Hot Wires in the parking structure is BDR 529, which is the same license plate as the Bluesmobile from the Blues Brothers. So there's a direct homage to the film. Sonata was clearly a fan.
The music, all right. The only thing that I was gonna say, do you remember that one song "Shakedown" from?
Absolutely. How could you? I don't know if you know this, Brian, but I am from the 80s, and I very much remember
"Shakedown" from
the
like
song Shakedown
Beverly,
from, was it 48
Beverly Hills
Hours or
Cop.
was it Beverly Hills Cop?
Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
48 Hours is the boys are back in town.
There you go. Okay. Fair. Well done, sir.
Wow, we are really on brand. I was worried for a second for a bit there.
This is in good company. Like, this anime exists in the company of very good, crazy 80s action pieces. Like, it's very much in that vein. And short of the superhero stuff, it very much matches the, tonally, just the arc, this insanity that happens in these things.
Mm-hmm. It was very on brand for the 80s.
It was. That's why I feel like it's the most 80s anime I think I've ever seen. Animego, they ran the Kickstarter for this thing in 2016. They raised in excess of $130,000 to get a Blu-ray release done for this anime. So the anime, while it may have not succeeded enough to garner sequels, it certainly has a cult following enough to have, garnered cultural status with anime fans.
We can even identify the burger. Lynette, I don't know if you knew this, but the burger that Percy was eating was actually a McDLT.
Ladies and gentlemen, the McDLT was a specific type of burger that arrived in 2 separate cartons and had to be put together.
It had a hot on one side and the cold on another.
You had to assemble your own burger because was a thing they did to us in the 80s and 90s.
Those bastards.
Oh, man. So, all right. Had any of you seen Writing Bean before the episode watch?
I'll go ahead and
No.
say not only no, when we were suggesting this one to be over here, I thought this was going to be like some type of kid flick about you know what I'm saying? Some type.
Stop.
No, seriously. I thought this was going to be some Studio Ghibli knockoff, and I was not
He's
not going to
imagining
enjoy it.
Mr. Bean driving the car.
Fun fact, Bean Bandit was modeled after Rowan Atkinson.
Long time listener.
Big fan.
Look, I was not. When I saw the cover, I was like, "This isn't Studio Ghibli. This isn't Ponyo."
It most certainly was not. This is the antithesis to that.
Right.
Yeah, this is, when I say it's an 80s action film, that's really the best way to describe it. But for younger listeners who may not be familiar, this is what Fast and the Furious wish it was.
Right?
That's
less about family, more about cars.
No, come on.
Fast and the Furious wishes
I
it
will
was.
give
Vin
you-
Diesel wishes he was Bean Bandit.
That is
All
very
right,
true. I would have to say that.
You're taking this a little bit too far.
Dude, have you seen the Fast and the Furious franchise lately?
I have, and I've seen the superhuman shit that they have done. I will say, I would give you, it was probably inspired by Writing Bean,
Sure.
but they've taken it so, they've been to space. That's all I can tell you.
They have. But you know what they
They
still
took a
haven't
They
done?
went to
Fiero.
space?
They did,
went to
yes. The
space?
most recent
They took a
Fast and the Furious
Fiero.
took a Fiero to space.
Oh, I've only watched 1 and then regretfully 2. 2 was like,
Oh, yeah. No, the one that
Then I
takes place,
stopped.
2 takes place in Miami. So we can tell
Man,
you
that's
all
why
about
we had to watch
the
it.
inaccuracies of 2. But
Oh God, gone for that for freaking ever.
nevertheless,
Look, when we watching that first race where they go from Homestead to end of the turnpike all the way back to Hialeah, I'm like, how the fuck?
and like,
It's
yeah,
like
and
7 minutes. No.
yeah, with no traffic. The point is the Fast and the Furious movies have gotten cartoonishly crazier and crazier as the years have gone by, to the point where they are now Writing Bean. They're very much here. In the end of the last film, spoilers for those of you still waiting on the end of that storyline, A fucking dam bursts open and Vin Diesel's standing in the line of fire there. That's where they ended the movie. Does he live? Of course he's going to live. There's another movie coming out this summer. We've entered Bean Bandit territory. The man is going to survive a dam burst. Very
Look,
much Bean
we've
Bandit.
been past this though.
That is, I
We've even
can't.
had Percy
I've
as a
never-
rock.
Yes, we do. Percy is the Rock. Percy is played by the Rock in the series. Look, it's wild. But that's what
Doesn't
this is.
Momoa play in one of those now?
Yeah, he's in the most recent one. He's the
And
baddie.
the bad guy.
He's the baddie, and
Well,
he's
that's
chewing up the
cool. I
scenery.
might watch it. I might watch it if he's the bad guy. I've
Did
never
you-
watched. I haven't watched any of the other ones.
If you
And
liked
all-
riding Bean, you're gonna love Fast and the Furious.
Right?
Like, I watched number 2 and went, "This is stupid," and
I-
then
And
stopped
it
watching.
is. And here's the thing about the Fast and the Furious series. I know this is a Riding Bean episode, but we need to do this. The Fast and the Furious series, it starts out like you're like, okay, this is a standard, it's a bunch of drag car race, street racing movie. And then it gets absurder and absurder. And then you go to Japan, where it loses all credibility. And then it just comes back, and it's very quickly turning into the Riding Bean
Hold on,
series.
Japan is where to lose credibility.
Tokyo Drift
Yeah,
was a
wasn't Japan
steaming
2?
shit
Tokyo
show.
Drift, right?
Tokyo Drift
Yeah,
was
that
3.
was that 3?
It was so bad they couldn't get Vin Diesel to come back and play Bean Bandit.
Okay, so that was 3.
Yeah.
I must have missed 2 then. No, no,
2
2 they come back from being bad guys, right?
Two
I don't
is
know.
the one. Two takes place in Miami. Damn it. So I am bringing this shit around, and nobody had seen Riding Bean. None of you had seen Riding Bean before. Vic, you saw Riding Bean. You've never seen Riding Bean before. Oh no shit. Okay, so I'm the only one that had seen it before.
See, the sizzle reels, the trailers. I've never actually watched it.
Wow. Okay, so I had seen Riding Bean. I didn't own it, so I think I borrowed it from somebody, but I had seen it before. It was probably one of my rewatches of Bubblegum Crisis, and I said, "Oh man, let me see what else this dude's done." So I remembered the car sanity of this film, and is only now that there have been 74 Fast and Furious movies that I was able to see all the inspiration and correlation between this one anime and an entire film franchise. It's very much in that vein. And it's a love letter to like just crazy 80s action films. It truly is. Since this was the first time viewing for most of us, this should be a fun closing thoughts. So let's go ahead and we'll get started on this. I'm going to let Vic go first because Vic's in the top right corner of my screen. So Vic,
He's in the top left corner of mine. That's good to know.
all right, Vic, buddy, this Riding Bean, how'd it go for you?
I can only say one thing: watch it with family.
This motherfucker.
Apples for Brian. No, I enjoyed it. It's pure, unadulterated action, which makes a great 80s action movie. Takes place in the late 80s. Another win for that. And it's good. It's animated beautifully. It's, nice and smooth. You mentioned the rotoscoping on the cars, which I didn't even catch. So, yeah, watch it.
Solid. Awesome. All right.
Simple and to the point.
I appreciate that. All right, Brian, you are next in my viewfinder here of video chat.
It is animated really well.
I love that. That's usually if you start with it's animated really well, I can only expect it to go downhill from. Because usually it's like if that was the high mark, that means there's shit else for you. Go, let's do it. Go on.
The only reason why I won't go too far in on this one because one it is the 80s. Can't even say it's the 90s.
You can't.
But plot points and everything is basically on brand for the 80s in terms of what to expect story-wise. Right?
Yeah.
Damn, one of us is idiots. Either Sinestro for fucking his writing sucks, or us for saying this is good anime. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Nobody said it, but god damn, they really don't know how to write.
So, Brian, if can I ask you a related question?
Yeah.
When we watched like Ranma, right? Like we had a lot of fun with it, right? Because
Right.
it was absurd. It's absolutely cartoonishly crazy. What is it about writing Bean that didn't give you that feeling?
Rama sets the tone of reality. All
Yeah.
right, all right. Rama sets a tone of absurdity
Mm-hmm.
early on.
Okay.
Right. It's something about that first scene of Nihao.
Yeah.
Right? When you look behind it, you see the whole cacophony of chaos that's actually following Haposai, right?
Right. Yeah.
That easily sets your mind from okay, this is great. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be funny. This is going to be it. When you're watching something like Writing Bean and they stick to some monochrome of even Fast and Furious style car antics, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you jump ship and you become an MCU. You
Very
become a
abruptly.
super
Yes.
very abruptly.
Yeah.
And then after that, you chop it off.
Yeah.
Those things like that is really hard for me to say.
So because Writing Bean starts with makes every attempt to make it a realistic world setting,
Right.
even though the violence is cartoonish, it's 80s cartoonish.
But it's not even cartoonish. It's just
I meant gratuitous. It's 80s gratuity. So it's like the
right.
violence is in excess. But all of it is still rooted in the real world. We're using real world pistols, real world cars, real world setting, and
Like
so because of that,
yeah, even with us going to, let's say, the level of absurdity, right?
yeah,
Let's put it. It comes in at Blues Brothers,
sure,
right? So if you watch Blues Brothers and you see the car chases and the car destruction scene, okay, this is 80s, early 80s. I can see this. This
Mhm.
is, I know where this is coming from. Well, this should be the level of
Yeah.
it. And this one just
So
way higher, and they don't give you nothing reason.
if they had skewed away from the MCU style third act and had gone for something more John Rambo, do you feel like that would have been a better approach to finishing the anime?
Because I would say yes, because, and here's the reason why. Here's the
Yeah.
reason why. Not only we would have basically been with Blues Brothers meets Knight Rider,
Uh-huh.
right?
Sure.
So Hit was pretty much indestructible. We have
Right.
proof of that. We have the car destruction from Knight Rider, but they were still just humans, right?
Yeah, right.
When you get hit in the face with the car
Twice?
twice, when you get shot in the forehead, I'm sorry, in the headband,
That's right.
and I have to take too much time I have to fill in the blanks for you.
Mhm.
I hate that part. I hate
Yeah.
having to fill in the blanks,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So it's hard for me to, but it's highly animated bullshit on that aspect. Like you can see the
Right.
lines. I know what they ate when they sat down in that toilet.
Yeah, the crinkly ass walnuts.
Right.
So Brian, that notwithstanding, like, do you feel like you could recommend this to a modern anime audience?
Yeah, it's set in the 80s. It's a period piece. I'm just saying that.
While you didn't particularly enjoy it,
And, and even then, I can't even say I didn't enjoy it.
okay, you
wouldn't
were
rewatch it because of the
Mhm.
fact that I saw it the first time,
Yeah,
and because of that, and then they just let down my expectations towards the third act.
I got you. Okay,
And as
okay.
a result of that, I would tell people, if you want to see what the 80s were like, from music to tan lines, this is great.
That's great. From music to tan lines. That's what I'm going to name my memoir.
and, 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 and there is some informational shit in there.
Yeah.
Never knew about garters and panties. Never knew.
That's the first chapter. Garters and panties. See, man, my memoir writes itself. So so ultimately, you would recommend it, but it's a one-timer kind of thing. Was that just
It's
trying
a
to
one and
help
done.
hone in on the final thought? Okay, cool.
It's a one and done. It's a one and
Okay.
done.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, Lynette. Lynette, dear, how'd you feel about writing Bean?
I actually thought it was fun. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't really, I didn't really have to pay attention to the plot because it was
Yeah.
just, ooh, shiny red ball, and in this case, shiny red car. Because if I
Right.
thought about it too much, I was like, that car is going to be really heavy, logistically speaking. I don't know if it can actually balance on that. And then I'm sitting there going, I don't know if the car is able to have that with their central. And I was like, you know what? Don't overthink this, Lynette. It can two-wheel itself.
I
It can
mean,
do all stuff.
look, all I'm saying, Lynette, is the General Lee landed every jump. Okay, just Oh, oh.
And then like you have to ignore the random statements of that family vehicle that they were driving in, the BMW family vehicle, and she goes, "You gotta respect the V12," and I'm like, "Wait a minute,
Right.
I don't think that model comes in a V12, and if you messed it up like that, you probably would have crashed." And I was like, "Wait, nope, I'm inserting reality into there. You can't
Nice. Right.
insert reality
Right.
into
I can agree with that
with
statement.
the
I can
little
agree with that statement.
yeah,
You're saying the V12 and the BMW
Right.
sedan model.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. See, in my limited knowledge of cars, and she said you gotta love a V12. I went, that doesn't work.
I didn't even know if you could fit a V12 engine block in a standard
That little
BMW sedan.
think so either. But if you
No.
Vic's
remove the
real-time fact
reality
checking.
part,
Vic,
What do you got, Vic? I saw you gesture.
Apparently,
yes.
I don't know if that specific car had it, but BMW did make a V12 engine.
Oh,
Whoa.
fucking hell!
So they did. Okay. So
Look,
the
I
guy
quit.
did his homework.
Look, I quit.
So what's funny? What's
This will
funny
be my
about that
last
is,
show.
and this is
I-
a little thought, by the way, that
We
we're
were
all interrupting. I just wanna point
75%
this out.
wrong.
But look, that's the thing that's interesting about this is that because there was so much absurdity mixed into this, like you couldn't even be sure that part was true.
Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if the Batmobile showed up and did like a cameo or something in there because
Man.
the craziness. But I will
Wait.
have to say,
They've had V12 engines since 86 to 2022.
Okay. Rock and roll.
alrighty. There you go.
Go on, Lynette. I'm sorry.
I
We're
stand
sorry for the
corrected.
interruption.
It's okay. But the garage scene, I would have to say, got terrifying. I was like, what is this guy? Is this guy like a super soldier? The Universal. What's going on? They pulled from everything, and then his crazy face when he got run over twice, and then just picked up the car. I was like, either she needs to pee herself a little because obviously that's what would have happened in reality.
There's one thing that we haven't even addressed when we're talking about Bean's characteristics.
Yeah.
The scar.
Yeah. Like that's
Yes.
something that.
Yeah.
Is
there a character? I want to say there is like a superhero or an X-Men mutant character that actually has that
There
on
are.
his face. There's like
There-
a bunch of them. I know. I'm terrible.
There is
to
a
be honest,
character
I've never
named
read
X
comics,
who has an
so,
anime, and he's
yeah.
got an X scar.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I feel like they were pulling a lot of things and trying to preview trying to give
Yeah.
us sneak peeks of future things, but it was a 45 minutes of absurdity, and I loved every minute of it because I didn't really have to think about it. It was funny. So
all right.
That's
So I
a
would-
great
I would-
point. It's 45 minutes of it.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Yeah. This will not take a lot of your time. The high octane edition is a good name for the Blu-ray because this starts and doesn't fucking stop.
So yeah, so my recommendation is everyone should at least watch it once. I mean, it's
All
not
right.
like it's going to take too much of your time, and just escape reality for a minute.
This anime is I said at the top of the show, it's the most 80s anime I've ever seen. I don't think there's anything that comes close to the amount of 80s that this anime has in it. It's got all of it. It's got the absurd violence. It's got the gratuitous or educational for Brian nudity. It has.
I'm not an idiot, motherfucker. I'm not. I'm not educational.
So educational.
Oh my God. I did all right. I did write that along with my notes on educational. I did.
Yeah, it's 80s. It's an 80s anime. And those of you who grew up in the 80s, maybe midlifers like myself, you have a nostalgia for 80s action films. They don't make them like that anymore. They really just don't.
Nope.
This will scratch that itch for you because it is very much that absurd 80s action piece. It does get weird in the third act. It takes a turn that I was not expecting. I was entertained throughout the film. When they pivoted to that in that third act, I was like, oh, well, this is what we're doing. It is a lot of fun, but like I will agree with the rest of the panel here. I don't necessarily know that you're gonna like watch this every summer or something. This isn't like,
of course not.
This isn't like, oh man, we're gonna sit down, we're all gonna watch Riding Bean again. You know what I mean? Like, it's once in a while you might check in with this, but it's not. There's a reason why it didn't get picked up for a longer stretch. We didn't. I don't even feel like I did it justice in talking through the plot points. It's crazy. This is just a crazy anime. So I do recommend, like everyone, I recommend checking it out. I think that it's worth your time. It's worth a short little 45-minute watch to get a sense of 80s actioners. And if you're nostalgic for that, this will scratch that itch for you. So do check it out. You'll probably have a good time with it. And let us know what you thought. You know, we always hear from our buddies like Johnny W. and, you know, from Vin. Vin's always letting us know what he thinks of this stuff. But you guys do let us know what you thought of it. I'd be really curious to hear. So yeah, I guess that's going to do it, guys. That's going to do it for our show today. So until next time, keep calm and always chomp a mouthful of unshelled walnuts when engaging in vehicular manslaughter.
You've just been privy to the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd, presented by Geek Grotto. For show notes and corrections, or for general geeky fun, you can visit our website at geek-grotto.com. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, please like, follow, and subscribe.